Hi friends, welcome back to Winnie's Cooking. Today we're going to look at Tulip Mania at the Gardens by the Bay, Singapore. Come, let's get into the video. Tulip Mania, its wild origins floral display. Tulip Mania, one of the Gardens by the Bay most popular floral displays, which had to be put on hold due to the pandemic, is finally back after a 2-year hiatus since its last edition in 2019. This year, the display traces the origin of the tulip as a rare wildflower in the wilderness of Central Asia. Follow in the footsteps of Kazakh nomads on migration through the Central Asian steppes and discover the cultural heritage and architecture of Kazakhstan, where annual tulip festivals celebrate the ephemeral beauty of wild tulips. Amidst the colourful tulips on display, traditional yurt handmade by Kazakh craftsmen beckons, revealing a cosy interior filled with felt textiles, furnishings, and crackling fire. Tulip Mania highlights of cultural heritage and humble origins. Follow in the footsteps of Kazakh nomadic tribes on migration through the vast Central Asian steppes, home to the wild tulips from which cultivated tulips have been bred. Experience the unique cultural heritage and architecture of Kazakhstan as you trace the tulip's humble origin as a springtime wildflower in the steppes and mountains of Central Asia to its craze and the Ottoman Empire prior to its first arrival in the Netherlands. Relish the crisp, fresh air of springtime as you stroll along Tulip Mania, made possible at this time of the year with the tulips from New Zealand. History of tulips, Turkish heritage. Originally a wildflower growing in Central Asia, tulips were brought to Turkey by nomadic tribes and first cultivated by the Turks as early as 1000 AD. In the 16th century, at the time of the Ottoman Empire, a tulip craze struck the elite and the court society, and cultivating the flower became a celebrated practice. The name tulip is said to have been derived from the Turkish word for turban, dulp bend or tulban, in reference to the shape of the flower and the resemblance of the turbans worn in the Ottoman Empire. Tulip became more popular and played such an important role that the period spanning 1703 to 1730 has been labeled the tulip era. One could find tulips in the flower markets on silk and textiles, and they were even praised in poetry and used as motifs in paintings. History of tulips' arrival in Netherlands. 1594 is known as the official year of the tulip's first flowering in the Netherlands. Carlos Clusius, a Flemish doctor and botanist, brought bulbs with him from Vienna to Leiden University's newly established Hortus Botanicus, where he was appointed director. This was the start of the bulbs fields in Netherlands that one sees today. Botanists started to hybridize the flower as soon found ways to create a more decorative and attractive specimen. Hybrids and mutations were seen as rarities and symbols of high status, and people were prepared to pay extraordinary sums of money, selling lands, houses, and valuable objects to invest in tulip bulbs. This tulip mania, however, did not last long. The speculative market eventually crashed in 1637, and the trade of tulips ground to a halt. It was only later in 20th century that it was discovered that the frilly petals and dramatic flamed patterns that were so sought after in tulips were in fact the symptoms of an infection by the mosaic virus. Today, tulips displaying such a patterns are a result of breeding and not viral infection. Wild tulips. Wild tulip species carpet the harsh mountainous steppes of the northern hemisphere in springtime between March and June. These flowers that represent peace, tranquility, and renewal to the nomads are distributed across the mountains of Central Asia where they travel. The foothills of Tian Shan, located in the territory of modern Kazakhstan, is considered to be the place where the tulips appeared for the first time. Trumud architecture in Central Asia. Trumud architecture is a style of architecture in Central Asia that is heavily influenced by Seljuk traditions, often featuring grand scale buildings. It is not uncommon for the exteriors to be decked with intricate blue and turquoise linear and geometrically patterned glazed tiles inspired by Iranian banani technique, which represent the clear sky and water. Kazakh yurt. A Kazakh yurt is a traditional, simple, and practical portable dwelling of nomadic Kazakhs and can be easily assembled, providing a safe and comfortable space. Yurts are made from natural and renewable raw materials designed to be transported by pack animals. The lattice work that forms the wall of the yurt is known as carriage. The carriage is connected by the yoke poles and form a dome-like structure which supports the shandrak, an element that lets the light into the interior of the yurt. Significance of the Kazakh yurt. The Kazakh yurt is a symbol of family and traditional hospitality, fundamental to the identity of the Kazakh people. All ceremonies, festivals, weddings, and funeral rituals are held in the yurt as the nomads roam the steppes from season to season. The shandrak, the topmost element of the yurt, is that lets the light in and is known to symbolize the family well-being, peace and calmness, and extremely valuable to the Kazakhs. It also represents on the national emblem of Kazakhstan. Tulip Mania is back with a twist at the Gardens by the Bay, and it's held until November 14th. The annual display of tulips at Gardens by the Bay is back after a year, this time in October, long after tulip season in the Netherlands in April. Instead of Netherlands, the tulips are sourced from New Zealand, where it is now springtime. The launch of Tulip Mania on Thursday morning, October 7th, was graced by Second Minister of Finance and National Development Indrani Rajaya and Kazakhstan Ambassador to Singapore Arkin Artisnov. Gardens by the Bay Chief Executive Felix Lowe said, "The horticulturists have been working hard to bring the display to fruition with the support of the Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan. While most people look to Holland for its famous tulip fields, not many knew that the plant originated in Central Asia. Tulips first appeared about 10 million years ago in the foothills of the Tian Shan Mountains on the territory of modern Kazakhstan," said Mr. Artisnov. In the 16th century, part of which is now Kazakhstan was conquered by the Ottoman Empire, which brought the tulips bulbs back to Turkey, where they are planted in the gardens of the powerful. Every year when the tulips were in bloom, a big party was held by the Sultan Sulaiman I. Tulip Mania will run till November 14. Visitors can see the tulips at the Flower Dome from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Admission fees for local residents are $12 for adults and $8 for senior citizens and children. Book the tickets on the Gardens by the Way website. Those unable to visit can check out the videos of the floral display on Gardens by the Bay. Nomadic lifestyle. The territory of Kazakhstan has historically been inhabited by the nomadic tribes and roam the vast Kazakh steppes. These tribes originally moved throughout Central Asia, Russia, China, and Mongolia. The Kazakhs were traditionally pastoral nomads who relied heavily on the animals for the transportation, clothing, and food. They migrated seasonally to find water and rich pastures for the livestock, which includes camels, horses, sheep, goats, and cattle. Silk Road Bazaars. Throughout the Silk Road, marketplaces, bazaars were places to trade goods and information as well as for people to gather and share news. As merchants traveled across the expensive steppes, cavanachas were built to provide rest stops, and these eventually turned into marketplaces for the trade of goods and services. Spices were a valuable addition to cuisine and often changed hands hundreds of times before they reached their final destination in the cooking pot. Dried fruits, nuts, and other sundries were convenient supplies in the days before refrigeration are still popular in Kazakhstan and Central Asia till this day. Oriental carpets and rugs. Knotted pile carpets contain raised surfaces called pile from the cut-off ends of knots woven between the longitudinal warp and traverse weft using a loom. Oriental carpets and rugs are heavy textiles made for a variety of utilitarian and symbolic purposes. The textiles are woven in countries in the rug belt stretching from Morocco in North Africa to western China in the east and include Kazakhstan. Traditional dyes used for oriental carpets are obtained from natural materials including plants. Natural dyes provide long-lasting color, allowing the carpets to be handed down generation after generation. Throughout the history, people from different cultures, countries, and ethnicities and religions have been involved in the production of carpets and rugs. The mobile home, which is designed to be transported by camels or horses, is on loan from the Kazakhstan embassy. The floral display also includes a bazaar that shows Kazakhstan's role as a trading hub along the Silk Road, as well as the towers and gates inspired by Timur Dynasty architecture featuring blue and turquoise geometric patterns. It may be autumn in most parts of the world and usual year-round summer in Singapore, but as Gardens by the Bay, spring is in the air with the turn of Tulip Mania happening from now until 14 November 2021. It is one of the largest floral displays in Singapore, now finally returning after a 2-year break. No thanks to the pandemic. This year's version, Tulip Mania, its wild origins, comes with a Kazakhstan theme, complete with an authentic. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to go to Tulip Mania before the 14th of November. Do like, comment, share and subscribe to Winnie's Cooking and press the bell icon to get regular updates from Winnie's Cooking. Thank you and bye friends.